Where's the Keys At? We're going to do a follow-up episode of the spiritual and ghostly one that we did before. So this is part 2. I'm Raydot, and to my left we have...
Back, your boy Lee.
Your boy Ashwell.
Your boy Tezza T.
Okay, yep, so as I said, it's going to be part 2 of the spiritual one. So I don't know who wants to kick off with any stories or anything.
The newcomers, the ones that...
See the pressure they show
the ones that went here last time. Let's hear your story. Well, you heard our stories.
Yeah.
So let's hear yours.
First of all, yeah. I liked the pod, innit?
Yeah, it was good, man.
The pod was very, very good.
Thank you.
By Eli.
Man got no belief.
No belief. You gotta get into the spiritual realm, man. Like, and to be fair, I was a bit like you, innit? I was a bit like you. I was a bit skeptical. I was a bit like, I don't really know if I believe or don't believe. And I think it takes a story from somebody else who you can generally trust, or a personal experience in it. And I'd say I 100% believe in a spiritual world, and I don't like the word ghost because that kind of makes it sound a bit spooky, and that kind of thing. But I look at us as human beings, for instance, and I don't know if anyone's seen somebody die before, or been around that sort of thing, but you see their spirit leave their body. It's a weird feeling. You see like the colour drain from them, like you see the eyes. It's like you just see everything drain from them, like as a human being. So that's the spirit. Like, people create robots, but they're cold. They don't have that kind of warm blood, that kind of emotions, that feeling, that sense. So for me, the 100% has got to be a spirit, because if there wasn't, then us as human beings wouldn't function. So first of all, I went to America, to go see my mum, and she's very highly into religion. So man, got into the car trying to bust tunes, like, nah, you can't play no hip hop, no rapping here. What do you mean I can't play no hip hop, no rapping here? No swearing, no nothing. Like, if I had like a snake or a dragon or any sort of thing represented like some reptile, I had to take that off. Couldn't even bring it in the house. Couldn't drink in the house, couldn't do anything. She was just very anti that. And as you know me back then, bro, I was just anti, bro. So one time I went to bed now, and I'm still vexed from the conversation. We drove like 8 hours from like Manhattan to Rochester, which is like North America. I'm like, mad. So I'm laying in bed now, asking bare questions to myself, like laying in bed. Do you talk to yourself? Sort of, you sit there thinking, life is this God, man. How come this happens? So Mum going, we're going to church. I ain't going to church. Nah, you can come if you want to come. So I went there, and it's bare embarrassing. So we're in the church now. All people come around, introduce you, like, yeah, this is Odlin's son from England. So the whole church start clapping, and they start coming around and cuddling you and that, shaking your hand and that, blah blah. So man's talking, I'm sitting there just listening to my brother, and I'm thinking, boy, this is long, But it was quite nice. It's a bit like Sister Act, where everyone's all singing and that, drums playing, like the vibe was good, as bare joyful, like you know what I mean. And like when you talk about last week, Eli, about when people start falling down and stuff, and when it's as deep as that, but people were just people were being touched. People weren't dropping down like it was like that. But I remember like the bishop stood up. Yeah, the Lord came to me last night and told me someone don't believe. I'm laughing. I'm thinking, what's he talking about? Then he started talking. Yeah, someone questioning him, saying this, saying that. All of a sudden, like, all the questions that I kind of asked and all the things I was sort of saying to him, man started popping and asking the questions. And I'm starting getting paranoid and looking around at my mum and them. I'm thinking, like, did someone plant something in my drink? Was I tapped on that? And literally, he answered every single question that I sort of questioned. So I left and I was thinking, this is weird. But he said to me, like, he was one of these kind of guys. He said, don't believe me, go do your own research. So eventually, he started going to church anyway. And then the skits is we'll go to this London thing. So they go, yeah, like, you need to sort of repent, like, all of the bad stuff you've done. So me, like a fool, got up, walk to the front. Like, all the people that are beat up, everything I've teethed, everything. listen. Every time I've been mad, I'm sitting there just exposing myself. Exposing myself.
Would you actually saying out loud?
I'm saying out loud. I'm saying out loud, bro. It's like, yeah, sorry for that toner teeth that for spa. Sorry for that boy I beat up at school for calling me this. Sorry for this. I'm this out there, yeah. And all of a sudden, yeah, I don't know what happened, but boom, lights just went out, Ray. Yeah, it went out. And next minute, I just remember just going into this place and start seeing light. So I'm walking into this place now, and I see man there, and I'm thinking, right, like I couldn't see the image, but I don't care what it says. Yeah, I saw God in it. That image was there. Yeah? So I'm thinking, rah. So I've done this now. Next minute, I turned like I can remember just speaking some madness. I'm shaking up and thinking, right? When I come back round now, I was wet. Like, I had a suit on, like someone had dashed me in a swimming pool. Next minute, I'll come round, people all feeling my head, holding me to go, you're filled with the Holy Spirit, brother, you're speaking in tongues, you're doing this all kind of thing. And I didn't know where I was, bruv. I come round bare wet, bruv. And they were like, like, why am I so wet? Like, what? But literally, I had this whole like, this mad premonition while I went there. That is the only thing that makes me believe that there is something out there. Because otherwise, nah, I'll disagree with people. I'll be like, nah, I'd argue, but I can't deny that experience. And even like, I used to take my kids to church. My kids were crying. Like, what's happened to Dad? I remember my daughter said to me the other day, she's like, Dad, you remember that time we were at church? And I thought that someone was hurting you because you were just crying and you were just hands up in the air speaking this madness and that. And they were just like, yeah. And it's the worst thing is like, I've seen it all on like where it's been recorded, like on tape, we've recorded some of the services and stuff like that.
So when my mum passed away, I didn't grieve because I had her in my ear saying, right, you got a job to do, carry this out. And didn't have time to think of anything, done everything. I think it was like 4 or 5 months later, I was in the shower, getting ready for work, and then just something popped into my head, and it was a song, and then tears were just streaming down my face in the shower, and I was like, and it wasn't like I was crying, it was just streaming, I didn't have no control over it, it was just so weird, so yeah.
And it happens to me now and again, like, it might not even be like, it could be like once a year, or every so long, but I could just be there, just be in a good mood, and start singing, and the next minute I should get emotional, man, like, it's just a weird... The same as like Halloween. I don't celebrate Halloween. And a lot of people don't celebrate Halloween in America is because they reckon that's the most powerful day that demons go to, because everything's all evil in it. And you think the whole world is celebrating devils, demons, all this madness there, like the bad spirits and that.
Yeah.
What kind of positivity is that?
I look at it as Halloween. I looked at it as like that's a song. I feel like some paedophile stuff. Your kids go knock on doors to beg for sweets. And, you know what I mean? Dude, old man open the door looking at your kids.
Old man, you know.
You know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's some weird stuff. Like, come knocking your door, tricks or treat. Like, nah,
it's a pagan thing, and I don't like it. I just think it's dark energy. Yeah. It's dark energy, man. Like it's everyone dressing up as demons and like what fun is that?
What's your story then, Lee?
Yeah. It's not so much a story, really. Just I know I've had conversations, I've had visits because I know I've been told things. You know, when you like, I think I really started to notice it when my granddad died. Because I woke up in the morning and said to my missus, I said, my granddad passed today. She said, no, he's fine, he'll be right. And I was like, no, he's gone. 2 hours later, I get a phone call. You need to come over to the house. And I'm like, I just knew.
Yeah.
Because he'd come and see me. I knew he came and saw me and told me everything was going to be all right. But I've had visits from him recently, actually. I had visits from him. Like, I've got issues with one of my kids. He said, let it be. They'll come back to you. I know they'll come back to you. So I just got to believe, man. I've always gone to church, and so I went to church when I was little, all the way up until I was maybe 12, 13. And my grandparents were always at church and things. So
okay, but do you believe in? Because you go to church, because you when you was a kid, you were forced to go to church.
I just went to church because I was going to church.
Yeah, but do you go? Not now. Would you go to church because you believe in church and believe in Christianity, or would you go? You know what I mean? Would you go to church now because you believe in that, or would you? Because obviously I feel like everyone in here has some kind of they feel like there's a spiritual element towards in life. Yeah, but do you see that as? Do you put it? Would you put it in religion? Apart from Eli is a scientific person. Yeah, you need something to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be proof. Yeah, I mean, even though he
It's
got
hard,
shook
isn't it?
last time we was here, he got scared when we were inside the house. Hard.
Of course he was scared.
Yeah.
Leanne, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you not hear that? He's like,
Check the garage 4 or 5 times.
remember Friday when Smokey was in it? That's what Eli was.
Angel dust.
PCP.
So you are actually spits and cut out anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Lee. So, that's
It's
what
hard.
I
I
wanna know.
mean, I do believe. Yes, I do believe. I can't say I don't believe. I do believe. Do I need to go to church? No.
Nope.
No, I don't feel I need to go to church to show that I believe. So yeah, no, that'd be my answer. No, I don't feel I need to go to church. But I do believe.
Do you pray?
God's. Sometimes, not as much as I should, probably.
I agree, Lee. I don't pray as much as I should.
Same.
But I pray.
But I do pray. Yeah.
I pray.
So
I
we all
quite
pray,
a lot.
yeah?
I pray quite a lot.
Eli, you pray?
Everyone prays when they need something.
Yeah.
And I think the
That's
problem
true.
is we need to get out of that.
That and do it regularly.
And pray like like I don't pray every day, you know. Like I used to pray every day when I was in church. Like there was a point when I was at church for like every day for about 6 years. Like boom. But now I don't pray every day. But when I do pray, sometimes I pray in the morning. I just thank God to waking up, just to
done that
breathe in the air in my lungs, boy. Just make that I've had another day. Like I thank God for another year. Do you know what I mean? Things like that because.
You know what? Yeah.
But it's not as much as I should do. You know what I mean?
It's one of them pods, so I'm just be real. I pray every week, once a week.
Yeah, we should do.
Every week I pray.
We should do. We should do.
I just give thanks for that.
We have
Still
to.
being here, my family being safe, my children.
We have to. We have to.
At least once a week.
We have to. Well, I talked to my kids the other day, like, just about like we were saying like this might be our last Christmas, like last day we celebrate Christmas, like on the Christmas day because it's a pagan holiday thing. Like, what do you have to celebrate? What do you celebrate? Like, my kids don't care about Christmas; they care about getting presents. You can get presents. You can get presents any time of the year.
So true.
Any time of the year. No one cares about Santa. I don't believe it. No one believes in Father Christmas no more and them kind of things there. Sorry for all the kids that do. But you know what I mean? Like, no,
them young ones that are watching this. So, you know.
but people care about presents and that. My kid, do you know what I mean? And you can have presents any other day and stuff like that. And like, we're sitting there, and then my kids are like, "Oh, yeah, do you know when Nanny came? But we used to pray before dinner." I remember as a kid, I used to have to bless my food.
Every
Yeah.
single time.
Everyone I had to bless my food.
Before you
Every
eat that
single
food,
point
you
in
have
that
to
food.
bless
I
it.
had
You
to
can't
bless
take a
that
spoonful
food.
without
Bless that. And like,
get clapped.
why am I not doing that now? Like, when people goes, "Oh yeah, like I don't know, the Matrix or aliens or spirits and these kind of things." Yeah, if you want to start becoming scientific and people who believe in science, if you understand the brain, you can't imagine something if you've not seen something. It's impossible.
That's it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Of course you can't. How can you?
How do people create anything then?
In order for something to be like when people write a movie, they had to heard that from somebody or seen that in order to have that imagination. I don't know.
True. I mean, I've been since the last pod. I've been watching a load of stuff regarding deja vu, past lives, and what they were saying about deja vu is that you must have been there or seen it before in order for you to remember it, and that's where deja vu kicks in. So there was people like these kids who have told stories about their past lives, and it's all seemed to come true. Like one boy said, like, I was a black woman who lived in a place in New York, and I died in a fire. So when their parents looked it up, word for word, what this boy said had happened, and like even to the name, like you said, he even said what his name was.
Yeah.
When they looked it up to see the people who died in this building, that name came up.
So just following on from that deja vu thing, Ray.
Yeah, go on.
So just a question I'm putting out there. Does anyone believe that we could possibly be reincarnated?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we die, we come back again. We're born again.
1,000,000,000%. We spoke about it in the last one, but do you know what I mean? Whereas me and Raymond said we believed in it, but then you know,
I
didn't believe in these things, but 100% believe in that.
It's not as simple as that.
I don't know. I don't know. I think to believe in it, I think you have to. I mean, you don't necessarily have to come back as a human. You can come back as an animal. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think it's just you don't just you're done. I don't believe that.
So I find it hard, innit? This is probably the only time I may slightly agree with you that I don't know if you come back. Because I thought about, like, you know, when you're first born, you're kind of naive as a child. You have to learn how to speak, talk, crawl, all that sort of stuff, learn stuff, and then you become an adult. And then when you get old, you then become a baby, don't you? Again, you then can't control when you're back full self.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't. You dementia, or if you want to talk about dementia, like you did last week, and you can't speak properly. Your memory starts going, and you sort of become a child to adult to a child again. I get that sense. I find that a little bit weird.
Yeah, your body works like an engine, isn't it? So the longer you have that car, and the longer you abuse that car, it's a wear and tear on it, isn't it? If you look after the car, you get the car service every year, you get a longer life out of it. If you don't get that car service every year, you're going to deteriorate. That car's going to deteriorate.
There's a reason why we die, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason.
If I have an option to live forever, I would.
You would.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Then mechanical heart and everything.
Hell yeah.
Nah.
Do you think what? So you don't?
That you going on, Ash?
So
Mechanical heart.
Yeah, bro.
Go on,
So
robot, Ash.
If I get to 60 and they tell me I can live 50, I can live for another.
Go get the heart.
They told you
So
live long if you take the vaccine. You ain't took it yet.
That's true.
No, they didn't tell me that. They never told me that, bro.
You said you don't get COVID.
Yeah, exactly. There's a difference.
But if you don't get COVID, you survive longer, innit?
They don't say that. They don't say that, bro.
COVID kills. That's
This
what I
man,
heard.
Eli saying, I'm hearing live forever.
Okay. So my question to you is at what point do you say you wouldn't want to? Because you're still gonna age, right?
Yeah, you still age.
And you still age, and you're gonna be like, say for instance, you're gonna live for another 50 years. Say you live to your 70, you're gonna want to live to 120.
Yeah.
to do what?
I'm hoping that by then they design a body too.
This guy, man.
You get me?
Now I understand. I was gonna say.
Guy, man.
I was gonna say.
But then,
Nonsense.
but do you think that you could take somebody's heart out completely and put a new heart in, and that soul and everything still be there, that body still be there? Would you actually be a robot?
Of course
You
it's
lose a
not,
piece
man.
of you, right?
You lose a piece of you, man. 100%.
What kind of heart are you gonna have? One cold heart.
Yeah.
Robot.
Robots
Robot
are
Team Man.
cold
Well,
out now.
broke up
So
everyone.
Call him Team Man, innit?
Nah, I just can't see it. I think that's taken it to a whole different. Yeah, it's a whole different level, man.
Nah, that's Americans for you, man. They always want to go the extra mile and do some stupidness, man.
all right, you're into your Christianity. So what? So for me, yeah, all them other different religions. Which one are you going off? Which one are you? Which one is the actual real religion?
We don't
Ash,
know.
I can't argue.
Exactly. None of us know
No
that. So
one knows. No one knows. But
so
this,
you're
but
going
this
to
is,
follow
but this is, but
Christianity because
this is the beauty of it is that I believe there is one God in it, regardless. Could be Allah, could be Jesus Christ, could be whoever. Like you have a choice in who you believe in, innit? Yeah, but each one of those religions say believe in God and believe in me. There's only one God in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if I'm living the right way, whether it's as a Christian or whether it's as a Muslim, and I'm not doing any badness, I believe we'll all reach that same place, innit?
But okay, so we know, like from when we was younger, we know somebody that was in church and was, you know what I mean, we look up to as somebody as a role model. Do you understand what I mean? Obviously we're not dropping no name, but then you have that incident scenario came out where he was doing,
Oh my God!
he's a Christian, this is a person that is a Christian come out and doing madness with, you find out he's doing madness with kids. Like, what is the truth, though? It's the truth, but that's what I'm saying. But what Teroy is saying that you know who's
No.
not in all sense.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
everyone
but
you know is real.
exactly.
Ash, but listen,
But in
if you
all
never
sense, it's not.
if you sit back now, if you never knew that something went right with that brother, then
I never knew.
you was lost.
Did you? I never knew.
I don't think.
Like,
It weren't until I got to a point.
I
and
think
I thought
you
to
might not
myself,
knew it was that deep, but bro, you must have thought, right? How come I've never had a gal before?
Oh.
How come?
they
there is
use
centuries of
they
this
use
thing.
Christianity to enslave us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The first ship that went to Africa was called Good Ship Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a ship that they used to bring Africans to here to across to enslave us. Like, how do I believe in a religion that had so much flaws with it? There's so much flaw with that religion.
But it's not a religion.
But it is.
That's not religion. You can't say the religion.
What is it then? It's not.
the people.
Christianity is not a religion.
No, it's the people though. You can't say the religion is bad. It's the people that's bad. The same as like,
Yeah, but
the same as me saying that every
hear that.
Asian man is a Taliban, a terrorist.
No. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. But when there's like so much negativity around a certain religion, you think you can't then go and tell people, oh yeah, it's good to go into Christianity, blah blah blah, and then they go into this church, and they go into a church, and that pastor is like trying to ting with one of the kids in there. I'm just saying. I'm just giving you an example, innit? You know what I mean? Like, and scarring them. People out there believe that they need to choose a religion when they don't really need to choose a religion. You know what I mean? And then we're there saying to them, "Oh, I don't want to be your person to say to them, you have to choose a religion, or to believe in God, you need to have a religion." Because that's what they do. That's what they do in church. They tell you,
Some churches.
they look at you, yeah, but some they look at you like, oh, you don't go to church. You notice that when they go, you don't go to church, and you seem to be this demonic person because you don't go to church. What? I don't pray at yard like you. Like, I need to go to church to get my blessings. No, I don't.
You don't.
Get my blessing.
I used to go, like I said, I went to church for 6-7 years every day, pretty much. Like every day, like whether it's Bible study, prayer, worship practice, whatever. My relationship with God is probably better now than it was when I used to go to church all the time.
Really?
Yeah, but because you can have a relationship with God, like even like the reason I loved it when I went to America is because the bishop said to me, like, don't believe what I say. Like, go do your research yourself. So, like, I sit back at home, and when I read the Bible, when I've done research, and I like scientists, and I look back at dates, I sat back there and I've done research myself. Like, I've got a WhatsApp group. A Bible is stories from other people, I guess.
Yeah.
And stories from other people. What I'm saying, you can't document every single thing. What I'm saying, everything you think, even if it was in the Bible, you can't necessarily believe word for word because it is manipulated. Like you can get an urban Bible which is spoken like roadman level, like
but this
like
is what I'm saying.
This brother here did it like that. You can get all this kind of listen. There's about honestly there's about 100, 200 different types of Bible.
But then the Bible become like a Chinese whisper.
Of course,
you know what I mean.
Of course, it can be, but that's
I suppose you can.
But that's
it can be. You know what I mean? What they
can be, but that's why.
Whereas you tell me this story from the Bible, and by the time we get to Raymond, the story completely changed.
But then I think that's where you do your own research. So, like for me personally, I would only follow the King James Bible, and do you know what I mean? Because that was the original
Bible.
And then like I'd look at the Apocrypha, which are books that are sort of missing.
Do we really have the access to the original Bible?
No.
So then
Probably
King
not.
James
Probably
Bible
not.
is not the original.
Probably not. Probably not.
That, right?
But that's hearsay. I don't know that.
At the minute, everyone is like kind of like focused on the same kind of goals. Yeah.
Yeah.
You leave school, make sure you leave with the good grades. You get married, you have kids, you got a house.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same driven thing. So if they then come and say to us, you know what, you go to school and then you in the class with 30 people and 10 of them is alien. You didn't even know that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you start saying shit like that, everything turned madness. You know what I mean? Your head like, nah, bro. Like, you look at everyone differently. You know? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so you just don't know, do you? For me, it's like,
You never know.
yeah, for me, I can't then put my whole heart faith into one religion when there's about 50 million religion out there. So I rather say, you know what? I feel like I pray 3-4 times a week anyway, yeah? So I feel like I want to be spiritual with myself and with whoever is above. If they're up, I don't know where they are. If they're up, they're in the bottom of the sea. I don't know where this person is. Either from another dimension. Because we hear stories of like beings from another planet come here and literally bring us here and we experiment. Do you know what I mean? Curse used to tell us these mad stories, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But we don't know. None of these things we actually know. We don't know. Human beings does not know.
For me, there's nothing wrong with that.
You know,
there's nothing wrong with you having that thought and that because that is just you. But I think the downfall for people is writing off.
No, it's not. That's fine.
Other stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
not saying
like,
to write it off. But
I think that's why, like, because before I'd be like, nah, bun Christian, like you say, bun Christianity, bun Muslim, I don't believe in that. Like, that's why I have to I've got to this point where I'm open-minded, innit? Like, I respect all religions, but this is what I choose to believe. The same as whether it's sexuality, whether it's colour, whether what it is. You've got to accept people of whatever it is.
Let me say to you this now. All right, so somebody come to you and said, T, you know what, yeah, I'm feeling like going into a faith, but I'm conflicted. I'm thinking of going into Christianity or Islam, yeah?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't say go to Christianity.
I
I said do your research and find and whichever
I'd
one.
say that.
I'd say do your research and find, like, the reason I believe in
then
Christianity.
you believe in Christianity.
Yeah, but I didn't,
then
that's
they're gonna but you do now.
And I've read
yeah?
the Quran.
So
and I've read the Quran.
So yeah, okay. So how do you then? Because I'm doing this from like an outsider, somebody
Yeah.
that's looking for faith,
Yeah.
looking for some kind of
Guidance.
yeah. How do you send that person to say, go and believe in this religion over
can't.
this religion?
You can't.
Do you
You
know
can't.
what I'm
I
saying?
think you can't. I think that religion brings you to it. Like, I never believed in any of it. I used to think it was all bollocks.
something happened to me over a week ago now, whereas I've written off my car and the insurance said to me they're not going to pay out, right? So a couple of days later I'm like, what do I do? I'm like praying to God, praying to my mum. I'm like, what do I do? Like, what's my next steps? What should I do? And I've looked out, so I've gone to London because like I was having a stressful time at work and stuff. So I've gone to London, just booked myself in a spa hotel. And I was just looking at my hotel window and I was just like, please, mum, Lord, like, I just need some sort of help. And I've seen 2 magpies fly past. I'm thinking, okay, maybe this might be a sign. I'm checking out my hotel. So literally, this is a couple of minutes later. I've walked to where I've gone to the lift and I'm getting a phone call on my phone. I don't recognise the number. Spoke to the person. Hi, this is so-and-so from basically my insurance. Basically what's happened is the person who had said we're not going to honour your claim is someone new and should have never said we're going to honour your claim. So I'm telling you now, I've got good news for you. I'm on your claim. I'm like, that's my sign there. It happened.
I hear what you're saying, but like I said, there's some things that you can't.
It is hard to prove these things.
Yeah,
It's hard to prove a lot, though.
It is hard to prove these things.
You have to have look. I think
You got to be open-minded about it.
yeah. But
And you have to have your own belief.
you gotta have
I've got
your
my
own
own-
spiritual belief
Yeah.
in a higher power. For me, I don't think people keep thinking that they necessarily have to go to a church or
No, you don't.
be a part. No. I'm saying people do though, don't they? Most
People choose
do,
to go to church, but you have a choice.
but most people do feel like, oh yeah, they have to go. They have to be a part of. They are seen as what they call it. If they don't go to church, what they call it again? Atheist, yeah. So you're atheist if you don't go to church. You get called atheist. I'm not an atheist because I don't go to church. Because I believe there's a higher power. I just don't believe. I don't feel like I need to choose one of these 500 religions that's out there when I believe there's a higher purpose out there.
Do you know what
There's a
people
higher
go? Do you know
being,
people go to church?
and I pray.
People go to church for fellowship. That's it. See us like as friends all sitting here.
So this is
Like,
a
if we-
church then. Because we're a fellowship
of course
here.
it is. Yeah, of course it is.
Okay, cool.
A church-
So-
yeah, you don't have to put a name on it. Like, you
Exactly.
don't have to put a name on it. But
So-
what I'm saying is that's what fellowship is. Fellowship is just being around people like minded. So your spiritual realm and your spiritual views of something is cool. Surely you sitting at home by yourself praying and doing will be a lot and singing and worshiping God and whatever you're doing would be better if you would further your man them.
So ultimately, we all believe that there's spiritual element to life.
I believe there's a spiritual element. I'm
Yeah.
the same as you. I don't believe you have to follow a religion
I don't think you have to follow a religion.
in order to believe that there's a higher being.
No, you don't have to follow religion. I don't think you have. Again, you don't have to go to church either to believe that.
So that's it for this week. Let us know your thoughts. Still looking to hear any stories that you may have.
That'll be.
If there's anything that you want to pull us up on or want to give some support to, then go ahead and do it. That's it for this week. Peace.
Where the keys out?